We continue our reading of God's Dream for You, The Chosen, a morning devotional by author Dwight K. Nelson. Today's reading, August 13, Torah, Torah, Torah. Happy are those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or take the path that sinners tread, or sit in the seat of scoffers, but their delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law they meditate day and night. They are like trees planted by streams of water, which yield their fruit in its season, and their leaves do not wither. In all that they do, they prosper. Psalm 1, verse 1-3. How would you like to live in a world where a stop sign simply meant, "We wish you'd slow down a bit," where speed limits were cheerful suggestions, where green meant go and yellow, go faster, and red meant fly? While we all drive that way on rare occasions, the fact is nobody wants to live in a world in which protective laws and legal standards are abandoned. And yet, once upon a time, that was their world. Quote, "In those days, everyone did what was right in his own eyes." End quote. Judges 21:25. A world not unlike what Fyodor Dostoevsky described in The Brothers Karamazov. If there is no God, everything is permitted, which of course is not very different from the world we live in today, is it? Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Against this secular postmodern backdrop, where there is no such thing as capital T in truth, or true north, as Francis Schaeffer put it, it feels a bit quaint, doesn't it, to read aloud in the first 3 verses of the Psalter in our text today. Go ahead and read them aloud this time. It's almost embarrassing, isn't it, to delight in God's law? Please, when was the last time any of us did that? But remember, Torah, the Hebrew word for law, can be as specific as the Decalogue and as expansive as the entire Scriptures. While Psalm 1 isn't a divine call for legalist, it is a bold depiction of the friends of God who delight to immerse themselves in His Torah night and day, who have discovered in both the divine law and divine word their protection from wickedness and their promise for prosperous success. Their daily spiritual discipline acknowledges the observation of Jean-Paul Sartre, quote, "No finite point has meaning without an infinite reference point," end quote. They have found in their God and His Word an infinite reference point to guide them. Hasn't the time then come for the chosen to no longer allow fear of the charge of legalism to restrain their immersion into the heart of the divine Torah? Let no one yield to the temptation and become less fervent in his attachment to God's law because of the contempt placed upon it. It is time to fight when champions are most needed. Review and Herald, June 8, 1897. When Christ is your infinite reference point, why not defend His law in an age of lawlessness? This concludes our reading today of God's Dream for You, The Chosen.